people pay a dear price on the front line of the drug war. And what bothers me personally, but it's, I don't know who are the large groups in the U.S., right? We know who controls it down south. And people would always say, X amount of cocaine gets to the States. X amount of cocaine goes here and goes there. And I'm like, yeah? Well, if we can't fucking stop it, how can we count it?
That's right? A good point.
If we can't stop it, how do we count it? And I've always wondered who's on the other side. Who are the big distributors, like especially in the coke side of the world. But then, this was a couple years after our captivity, if my memory serves me correct. Up on the north coast of Colombia, they took down one of the largest distribution networks of cocaine in history there. None of that shit went to the States. It went to fucking Europe. Then it got then back from Europe into the States. But I would always see these experts that this is where it's going on. I'm like, well, wait a minute. We're trying to stop it. We can't stop it. How can you count it? Were you pulling these numbers out of your ass to justify program needs or money? I get it. But how do you stop it? Semi-submersibles, right? When they first kind of came out, everybody goes, oh, there's one or two. It's a knockoff. No, there's fucking hundreds of them, right? Or we catch some bad guys from the sandbox that come in through Venezuela and they're tagged with the Mexican cartels. Well, why do they want to get into Texas? They don't want to get into Texas to sell drugs. They want to get into Texas to hurt people, right? Chemical weapons, stuff like that. That's my theory. They don't give a shit. They're not going to go into El Paso and start a war. But why are they embedded with the cartels? Why? I mean, it's pretty open knowledge. You look at Iran and its proxies, what they do over there on their doorstep. Well, look at their relationship with Venezuela. Really? And I can't remember when it was, but I remember the women from Black Lives Matter. Either they went to Venezuela to meet with Maduro and Sean Penn and all those guys, they're talking about, look at this, Maduro, and then it's uncovered that they have a plan to distribute cheap drugs into minority neighborhoods in the States to destabilize local political infrastructure. But you're down there kissing ass to this person because you want 5 minutes of fame. That's destroying your own community. It's part of their, they fight the long game. We don't.
Yeah. You see it time and time again with all these terrorist organizations and the alliances that go on behind the scenes.
What has come through, look, I was raised a Southern conservative Democrat. They don't exist anymore. My parents were Dixiecrats. They were conservative educators, Democrats. I'm a Republican. I don't see why we should be fighting over right or wrong, or if you shoot somebody and kill them, should you pay for it? This whole discussion and fight politically in our country right now about crime. But I can tell you now that border is where it starts. But nobody goes down to where I worked to see what's at the other end. Or when you're buying cocaine in the States, do you see the death and destruction that it causes in other countries? And I'm not talking about guerrilla versus government forces. I'm talking about death and destruction on kids, on small, poor people, on what it does to them. It's when they say drug war, it's a war. It's a very serious thing. And there's very serious consequences paid for it. But then go down and see where the stuff starts at. Just my observation doing the job, not trying to poke somebody in the eye and say, you should believe this way, you should believe this way. If our border's open, let me ask you a question. Do you have a front door in your house? I mean, when your little kids are at home, do you lock your door at night or do you, that whole thing for me is personal because I know what goes on the other side of that border, and I don't know. And I'm not rooting for anybody to win political favor over border control. I'm just saying we need it.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people share that sentiment.
Yeah.
Let's go